Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Prosper. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to create a law firm website. So if you're a website designer or you are generally new to web design and you want to create a website for a law firm, this video is going to put you through step by step how to get it done. And if you follow this video to the end, the concept I'm going to be showing you will also work if you are looking forward to create even other types of websites that are not law website. So the process, the principle are both same, because to make it much more easier, we are going to be working with a demo template such that we are going to be editing or modifying the template to suit the information for the law firm that we are creating. So I'll be sharing with you where you can get some of these demo templates for different type of websites. Even like I said, even if it's not law website, where you can get some of these demo websites, demo templates that will work with the kind of website you want to achieve, how to get them, how to modify the details and everything about it for you to achieve your desired website. So if this interests you, do make sure you watch the video till the end. And if you are new to this channel, kindly consider clicking on that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to subscribe. Kindly click on that subscribe button now and the bell icon so that you can get notified for any future video that I release on this channel. Okay. All right. So thank you very much if you have done that. So now let's take a look at it, this website we are going to be creating. So like you can see on the screen now, this is the website we are going to be recreating. So you can see this is the menu over here. This is the background image. I've changed the images. Okay, so once you scroll down, if you look at the information here, you see that it fits what we're talking about. It's a demo imported website, and you can see that the layout and everything, even the color itself also shows that it's a law website. So once you import the template, you are just going to modify all the information to suit yours. If there's any section that you don't want, then you can take it out. And before I forget, to make it much more interesting, we are also going to be adding a booking system to the website such that clients can come on the website and book for probably a consultation with a lawyer or maybe a 30 minutes free or paid consultation. So all of these are what I'll be putting you through in the course of this video. So now let's scroll down to see what the website is currently looking like. So if we scroll down, so you can see this is the first section. We have this text here and a little description with a button. So if you want to change this button around, you can see there's a social media icon here. So this is the About Us part, the About Us section with this image here. So some of these images, I'm going to be showing you where you can get this kind of, you can see these are high quality images. Okay, so if you want to have this section, this is the services part. So business law, civil law, environmental law, criminal law. So if you want to change all these information around, you can easily do that. Okay. And this is a blog section where you can write about contents relating to the kind of services that you create that you believe would be of help to your prospective client. And at the same time, you have to also make sure that the content are SEO optimized, that it provides help and solution, and in one way or the other, it direct them back to you. So that should be the aim. So if you want to have this our team section where you are going to talk about some of the lawyers or the attorneys in the organization or the law firm, you can also have this. And if you don't want it, you can easily take it out. I'm going to put you through all of that in the course of this video. All right, so this is a testimonial section. You just change all the informations that are here and the images too. Okay. So the frequently asked questions or FAQ parts, this is it. So this website is a one-page website, apart from some of pages that stands alone, but it's a one-page website. And talking about the booking system I mentioned, so this is it. You can create a booking system such that once people come on your website, they can easily book an appointment. So you can say book an appointment with us today. So if you, for instance, maybe someone wants to create, you can create a category. I created just two: family law and litigation law. So maybe I want to do a 20 minutes consultation. After clicking on it, so I select it when I want the consultation. I select the date, maybe on the 23rd. Then I select the timing. Then I put in all these details. So you can see my first name, last name, email address, phone number. And then once I submit it, and then this booking will just show a summary, and that is it. And if you want it to be a paid one such that anyone that is booking an appointment will have to pay, all of those options are available within the booking system, which I'll be putting you through. Okay, so after this, there's also a contact form, and then we have the footer section. Okay, so that's just it on the website you're going to create. So now let's get into the process of creating the website itself. To get started with creating a website, there are two basic things or two major things that you're going to need for you to get your website started and on the internet. Number one, you're going to need a domain name and the hosting. And when we talk about the domain name simply means your website name. For example, we have like what we are seeing here, what usually show at your browser where you enter your address bar is what we refer to as your domain name, like you're having here. So that is what you're going to enter into your search bar, and then your website is going to come up. That's like the facebook.com, like the google.com, like the bbc.com. These are what we refer to as the domain name. And when we talk about hosting is all the informations that you have on your website, the images, the text, they are being stored somewhere. Okay, so that's where all your informations are being stored so that they can be accessed on the internet. So they become accessible on the internet. So that's the simple definition of what hosting is. And for you to get this, a platform called highly recommendable, which is this. So you can see this is where you can get your hosting and your domain. And basically, if you are getting your hosting with them for the first time, you are going to be getting a free domain. So you don't really need to worry about the domain, just the hosting. And the platform called highly recommendable, and you find a link to it in the description of this video. Okay, so it says everything you need to create a website. And depending on when you are on it, you're going to be getting a 75% off. So once you use the link, definitely you're going to be getting up to 75% off. So once you're on this page, next thing you want to do is to go ahead and purchase an hosting plan. Okay, so once you come here, you can scroll down or you just click on claim deal. So you can see pick your perfect plan. Now, if you have to pick an hosting and you come on this side, you see three options here. We have the premium, the business, and the cloud startup. Okay, so here are the difference between all the three plans. Now, for the premium, you can create up to 25 websites, while on the business, you can create up to 50, and this offers up to 100 websites. Okay, so as a beginner, you might not really understand some of the difference between all of these exactly, but if you're if fund is not the issue, you can simply go with a business plan to start with, and if there is need for you to upgrade, then you can upgrade to the higher package or the higher plan. Okay. So, but in terms of the difference, you can see it here. Apart from the 25 websites for the premium and the business offering 50, if you also look at the storage, there's difference in the storage in what it provides, and then the mailbox, you can see 50 mailboxes for free for 1 year, while this offer 100. Then this offers weekly backup. That's the premium. Why the business offers daily backup. Okay, so that backup also comes very handy. You know, as time goes on, as you continue your journey as a web designer or web developer, you might have a situation whereby you create a website and then for some reason your website might just crash. You know, and if you don't have the backup, you can just easily go back to your hosting and restore the previous save backup. You know, it helps a lot. I've experienced that and it comes very handy. Okay, so for this tutorial now, I'm sticking with the business plan. So once you're on this page, you click on choose plan. On the next page, you'll be asked to choose the period of your hosting. So if you click here on this drop down here, you see that there are different 4 options. We have the 1 month, 12 months, 24 months, and 48 months plan. So basically what that's telling you, how long do you want to acquire this hosting? So preferably you can start anything from 12 months to 48 months. Okay, remember I said you are going to be getting a free domain. So if you are getting either from the 12, 24, or 48 months, you'll be getting a free domain. But if you are still going with the 1 month plan, you can see you are not going to get a free domain. So you need to take note of that. And basically the 1 month is, I won't advise also to stay with the 1 month because it won't give you enough time for you to explore. Exactly. So within 1 month, and then you won't have access to it again. So anything from 12 months to 48 months is okay. And if you are looking at long term, 48 months is okay. If you are looking at it on the long term, okay. So now let me go with that 48 months. If you click on 48 months, which is like 4 years, so this is what you are going to be paying. The total is going to be $191.52. And if you decide to stay with the 12 months, the 12-month plan, the total is going to be $47.88. Okay, so that's a discount of 71% off, which is massive. All right, so once you are done, click on continue. So on the next page, you are going to ask to create an account. So what you are going to do here is to enter your email address and then your password, and then you click on register. So now we are on the next page, and on the next page, you are going to be asked to enter your billing information. So where you enter your name, your last name, your phone number, and all of this information. So you can see it on the right here. We have our order summary. So we stick with the 12-month plan, and this is the total. And you can see we have up to 77% discount. Okay. All right. So if you should scroll down again, once you are done filling all this billing information, the next thing you'll be asked to fill is your payment. So for you to make payments, we have different payment gateway. We have, you can pay with your card, you can pay with PayPal, you can pay with Google Pay, Alipay. So whichever one that suits you that you can use to make payments. So once you are done making the payments, you can just, depending on the payment gateway that you use anyway. So for card now, you see an option to submit. So you can see with PayPal checkout. So once you are done with payment, the next is you are going to be directed to your hosting page. And don't forget, you must have that is after you must have verified your email address. So after you must have gone through the process of picking a plan, making payments, signing up, and verifying your email. So this is the next page you're going to come across where you are going to have these options here. You have the home, the website, the domain, and everything. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is come over to where we have websites, and then you are going to see website lists. So if you see websites, click on website list. Okay, so because I'm having an existing plan, I have some websites on this already. So, but you see an option to add website. So click on add websites, and then you see WordPress. So click on WordPress because that's what you are going to be using to create the website. Okay. The next thing is you're going to be seeing this questionnaire more like a survey. So you can decide to skip it or just answer the question. So it's asking, who is this website for? So let me just select myself or my business. I click on next. So here you are asked to create your login details. So please, you have to pay attention to this. So this is where you are going to enter the email address and the password that you're going to be using to log in to your WordPress dashboard. Okay. So this information you're going to enter is one you're going to use to enter your WordPress dashboard and not your hosting account. Exactly. So, but if you want to use the same login details, that's left to you. But you have to take note of whatever you are using. Preferably, you might need to write it down somewhere. Okay. So, and take note of all of these. So these are the things that must have number, one symbol, uppercase, one lowercase, and then all of this. So once you have fulfilled all these parts, just click on next. So it will ask you that how would you like to build your website? So remember, we are going to click on this blank site. So that's what we want to do. So click on blank site. And then the next page is going to say what domain or subdomain would you like to use. Okay, so if you remember that when we picked our hosting plan, we were told that we got a free domain. So this is where we are going to enter or claim our free domain. So however, there are three options here. You can see option 1 is claim your free domain. Option 2 is you can buy a new domain. And option 3 is connect a domain you already own. So these are the three options, and let me explain it to you. So like I said earlier, you can claim your free domain. By virtue of the hosting plan that you picked earlier, you're going to be getting a free domain. Okay, so once you want to do that, you can just come over here and enter the domain name that you want to use. Okay, so once you pick it, if the domain is available, you see an option just beside it. After selecting it here, that's okay, pick the domain. So let me just quickly enter the domain I want to use. Now, if I've entered the domain that I want to claim, you can see it will appear here. And once you click on it, you definitely see an option to claim the domain. That is if you are yet to claim your free domain. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is if you want to buy a new domain. So once you enter the domain that you want to purchase, you can easily buy. You can see it will show you if the domain is available for purchase. It will look like something like this where you're going to see a price attached to it. And then the third option, which is what I'm going to be using, is confirm a domain you already own. So if you already have a domain from another registrar that you want to use specifically for that website, okay, so you can go ahead and just put in that domain. This is it. So I want to use this domain for the purpose of this tutorial. I already have this domain on another registrar. So I enter it and then I select it. You can see the domain is registered at another provider. You have to verify you own it when you connect it to your site. So for you to verify this, so just go to your registrar where the domain is being registered, and then you change the name server. For example, this is on Dynadot. So once you're on the domain, it's the same thing across all registrar. So just look for where they have name server or DNS setting. Then you can change the name server to what we are seeing on the screen right now. So this is the name server for Hostinja, which is the hosting platform that we are using. So just change it, the name server to this, and then that's where you verify that you own the domain. Okay, and the essence of that is to create a link between the domain name and the hosting. Remember, they are from different platforms. So once you change the name server on the registrar where you got the domain to that of the hosting plan, it creates a kind of link and verify that yes, you own the domain. So once you fulfill this, the next thing for you is to do is to click on install WordPress. So now our installation has begun. So you can see installing WordPress. So this is going to go from to 100%. So we might not need to wait for it. Let me just pause the video and then I'll come back when it is 100%. So if you're finding value in the video, please give the video a thumbs up. So now after the 100%, once it gets to 100%, it's direct you to your WordPress dashboard, and this is what it's currently looking like. So you can see onboarding, but if you come here and click on dashboard, it should take you to the WordPress dashboard itself. Welcome to WordPress. So you can see we're already in our WordPress dashboard. So with this now, we can go ahead and start creating our website. So we've acquired our hosting, we've acquired our domain name, and now we are back end of our WordPress website. Okay. So if you're on this screen now, let me take you through what you are seeing on the left side of the screen now. So you can see this is our domain name will appear here. And if your domain name is not appearing like this or whatever it is that you pick, just give it time. That means the domain name is yet to propagate with your hosting. Just give it time, but that won't stop you from creating your website. So let me take you through some of the menus that we are having here. So this is the hosting jar menu. This is just by default because of our hosting. So if you come over here to dashboard, we are currently on the dashboard, and this is what it looks like. It will just give you a summary of some of the things that is happening within your website and some plugins. You can see site edge status at a glance, activities, WordPress events and news. So you can decide to hide all of these or take out anything that you want. You can see screen option is here. So you can, if you don't want any of them, you can just uncheck this. Okay, so it's a matter of preference. That's one thing about WordPress. So the next thing is about posts. So this is where you're going to be creating posts like your blog post. So you can see it all posts, add post category and tags. And then for media, this is where you are going to find and add media files. So media files like your images, your videos, music, PDFs, all those things. So you find everything under media files. And then this is for pages. You are going to be making use of this. This is where you're going to be creating or adding new page, like your home page, your about us page. So just note the difference between a page and a post, okay? Then for comments, if you receive comments on your website, you are going to be, this is where you're going to come over here to either approve the comments or to trash the comments, depending on the settings that you've made. And then for appearance, if it comes to appearance, this is where you can change your theme. So for now, you see that you're having only two options here, which is the themes and the editor. But as we progress and start adding the themes and every other thing, you are going to be seeing more features here. That's why I'm explaining it now, so that because as we progress, you're going to be seeing more options so that you don't get confused. Then we have plugins here. This is where you're going to add plugins and all the plugins. So let me tell you, plugins basically let me call them web app that add more functionalities to your website. Okay, so once we start adding them, you're going to understand what they do. Okay, let me just use your phone to explain. If you have a call app on your phone, it enables you to make call. If you have a camera app on your phone, it allows you to be able to make to take pictures. Okay, so these are things that add more functions to your website. That's a simple explanation of what plugins are. Okay, so then the user, this is where you can create a user. Okay, so like right now, if you create a WordPress website for the first time on your first installation, you'll be the only user on the website. So if you want to add more users, you can come over here and add more users so that they can also have access to the back end of the website. Okay, and then you can also give them roles. There are different level of roles you can give them. Administrator role is the highest, so you can give them the role as an editor, as a subscriber and the like. So these are tools, these are other options that are available. We have settings, general, writing, reading. So these are things that you can also go through yourself. We'll be going through some of them, not everything anyway. And then it is self-explanatory. So this is a plugin, a Lightspeed cache plugin. It's a caching plugin. It was installed by default by our hosting, which is okay by me. Okay, so with that being said now, let's go ahead and install the theme that we are going to be using for this WordPress website. Okay, so don't forget, this is what we want to achieve. And for us to achieve it, like I said, we are going to be working with a demo template. It's a template site. So for us to get that template, we actually need a theme for us to achieve that. So for you to do that, just head over to appearance and then you're going to click on themes. Once you're on the theme page, you come over here to click on add theme. So you can see on WordPress, there are a lot of themes there, but from looking at the time of this video, there are 7,345 themes, okay? And the number keeps increasing. So these are a lot of themes that you find on your WordPress. But the one we want to work with is called Flux, P-H-L-O-X. So just come on the search theme and then type it PHLOX. Okay, so this is it. So once you see it, you can decide to preview it, but since we already know what we actually want, there's no need to preview. Just go ahead and click on install. So while it is installing, it won't take much time. So you can see it's already installed. So the next thing is to what is to activate. So you click on activate. After activation, you'll be asked to install the core plugin. So you can say thanks for choosing Flux. Install Flux core plugin. Now pay attention to this. Now you can see that on this side, we are having more options, especially on this appearance. Now we have pattern, customize, widgets, menu, Flux, install themes, and the likes. So you can see there are more options. And if you scroll down also, as time goes on, more options will start to appear here. So now let's go ahead and install the core plugin. So let me click on it. So now the plugins has already been installed and we can have access to this page. Okay, so this is under the Flux dashboard. So you can see we already have a new dashboard called Flux, and which is what we are currently on. So for you to see the template that we are going to be using out of all this menu, so just come over to Demo Importer. So right here, you see that there are a lot of demo websites that you can work with, demo templates or demo website. So if you can look at it, it's a combination of both free and paid. But if you want to know the free one, you see the option of import here. That means it's a free template that you can work with. But if you see the one showing unlock and then you can see pro written at the upper right, that means it's actually a paid one. But even the free ones are great templates that you can actually work with. And that was what I was saying earlier at the beginning of the video, that if you understand the process of creating this, you can also do it across different industry, not only for law websites. Okay, however, we are focusing on law website. You can see for beauty salon, if you want to create a salon website and you need a template, you can just follow the same process, and then you can preview this and see if it fits what you want to achieve. Okay, creative portfolio, this is also a free theme. So this is for diet coach. Okay, and you can, for the example, this diet coach, you can decide to also turn it around to use it maybe for yoga or for something related to health or food. Not necessarily what they say you can use it, but if you are okay with the design and the concept, then you are good to go. For example, this cyclist theme template now, when looking at it, you can decide to also use it maybe for a photography website. Okay, so I hope you get the concept. So once you understand how to select some of these templates, how to modify it, then you are good to go. Okay, so here is a cleaning service template also. You can decide to also install this and use it to create a cleaning website or a car wash website, and it can be as simple as that. All right, so but for the purpose of this tutorial, what we are looking for to create is a law website. So just come over to the search button here and type on law. So you can see this is it, lawyer. It's actually called lawyer. So this is the templates that we are going to be using to create this website. So you can see here. So for you not to mistake it, this is the demo.padigital.com. So this is the one that we are trying to recreate. Okay, so let's go back to our website. So now what I'll just do is, there is no need for me. Okay, let's preview it. You can decide to preview it or import it. So I'll go ahead and just import it. So it will ask you for this, say for better and fast results, it's recommended to install the demo on a clean WordPress site. So click on continue, and then you can see require plugin for this demo are this. So click on install plugins. The next thing is asking us to remove watermark. Now on the demo website, there are some images that are not free. They are copyright images. So it's asking us if we want to remove the watermark. Just click on skip. Exactly. So let's still leave some of those images. So the next thing is asking import demo content of Flux. So we want them to import everything so that the website can look the way it's supposed to be. So click on import content. So talking about those images I mentioned, it's just asking if you want to import some of those images. They are copyright images, so it wants to actually ask that can it import it. So just go ahead and import it. We are going to be taking them out and putting our own image. So now all the media files are currently downloading. There are about 34 of them. So just hold on for it to download. So earlier it was saying it will take 5 to 10 minutes, but apparently I think it took roughly 2 minutes. So it won't take up to 5 minutes. It's written there. So you can see, congratulations, demo has been successfully imported. So you can preview it. So let's preview it. So previewing it, it will open it in a new tab. So we can go ahead and close this. Now the preview has opened, and this is what our website currently looks like. So you can see this is the demo. So the next thing for us is to change the informations to suit us. So all the about us content, the front page, everything about the front page that we want to change. If there's any section that we don't want, you can easily take it out. So this is the services section. Okay, so you can see it. The blog. So if you scroll down again, our team, like I said, if you don't want any section, you can easily take it out. Testimonials and this. Okay, and if you scroll up again, you see that some of these images is having these diagonal lines and flux. So that's, like I was saying earlier, they are copyright images. Okay, so we are going to be changing everything around. All right. So now let's start with the home page. So you can see this is the home. If you click on the about, so it will take us down to the about us. So it's a one page website, which is okay. So if you click on services, it takes you to the services page. And then once you are there, you can see that it has a back to top button. So once you click on it, it can take you back to the top. And then if you click on the content, it takes you to the content. So one thing this website doesn't have is the sticky header, such that the menu should be floating at the top. So you can also include that if you want to. Okay, so now let's start with customizing this home page. So how do you go ahead to change all the information that you are having here to suit yours? How do you change the text, the color, the images? That is what I want to put you through. Okay, so now let's get started. So once you open this page, you'll see this option here, edit with Elementor. So it is when you are logged in as an administrator that you're going to see this option. If I should open this same website now in an incognito window where I am not logged in, you see that the options, that this black menu here where I'm having the website name, customize, edit page, and the likes, you see that they will not be there. So let me show you. So you can see it is not there. So this will how it will open as a non-user. Okay. So once you click on this edit with Elementor, let me open it in a new tab. This is where you are going to be editing all the information. Elementor is one of the plugins that was installed for us by the team. So that's a WordPress page builder, which we are going to be using to edit all the information on that site. So let it load up. So this has come up. So just you can skip this information. Okay, so this is what it's going to be looking like. You're going to be having this sidebar here with all of these options. So you're going to be having this. This is called the navigator. It was called navigator before. I still call it navigator, but now they've called it structure. So basically what it means is that it shows you the different section of this entire page. Okay, so this is each container represents like a section. I can also call it a section. So it's representing this section. You can easily, it makes it easy to navigate the website when you are on it. So you can see there are different sections within a section, like different container inside a container. Okay, so once I open this up, this container there, that's where I can find the heading. So you can see I can find the modern ending and everything. So it makes it much more easier for you to navigate areas of the website. Okay, so that's what the structure is, and you can move it around, you know, and you can, if you drag it towards your right, you can see it to just stay on the right side. Okay, but personally I just like to take it out so that I can move it around, so I can have more space to work with. So that is it for this. So at this top here, you have, it's showing you that you're on the home page, and it's showing the page settings, and this is showing the view of the website. So if you want it in desktop view like we're having, if you want to switch it to tablet view, so you can see it to show you how the website will look like in tablet. And if you want to switch to mobile, this will show you how the website will look like on mobile. So that's what these three icons mean. But since it's a demo imported website, by default, the views are always okay. Okay. But if you are creating a website from scratch, then you are going to need to pay more attention to this, especially between the desktop view and the mobile view. Because sometimes by default now you are working on the desktop view. You might look at it that, okay, this thing is okay on desktop view. And by the time you switch to the mobile view, you discover that it's not looking good. Maybe the text is too big for mobile view, then you can easily adjust it. So that's what these three are for. So we also have this preview. If you make any changes, you want to see how it looks like, you click on the preview. Then we have this help, and then we have this finder, and this is more like a notification. Okay, so any changes that you also do while working on Elementor in your WordPress, do make sure you always publish. Publish is another word you can say. Also make sure you save it. Okay, so if you don't save it, every changes you do, you might just lose them. All right. And then over here we have this add elements. Okay, so let me click on it. So all these widgets, widgets, we have the global. Okay, all these are widgets. All these things, these are the things that you are going to be using to create different sections and different parts of the website. So you can see we have heading, image, video, button, divider, you know, whichever one you need. We have both a combination of both the free and the paid one, depending on the plan that you are using, like the Elementor, maybe you are using Pro. But if you scroll down, you can see there are some Pro features here that is not available And for the ones that are available, will also help you achieve a great website, just like we can see here. So basically what this means is that, for example, if you want to add an heading, or a heading rather, you can just click on it and drag it into the website. So you can see it will create this pink like section. Actually, where do you want to drop it? Is it below? Do you want to drop it at the top? Just like that. That's for heading. If you want to also, if you scroll down, you see a lot of other options. You can see if you need image box, you can just drag it in. So the more you use the WordPress website, the more you're going to understand what all of these features are for. Okay, so if you scroll down, if you need short code, we are still going to make use of this. You just click on it, drag it, and you bring it in. And if you know the name of the widget you actually need, you can just come over here and type the name under this search widget. So you can see there are a lot of them. So, but basically you won't even need to use everything. So that you can see there are a lot of them. So you don't need to need everything. So it offers a lot of features there. Now the theme that we also installed also have their own widgets or elements. So you can see it here. All these ones having flux at the upper right. They are other elements or widgets by the theme itself. So WordPress will have its own. The theme also has its own widgets or elements. Okay, so that is it on it. So once you select any of them, you have the options to change anything that you want to change there. So if you want to click on this plus button, it will appear. So this now is for the layout. We have the container and the grid. So that's if you want to create a new section. If I click on this plus now, so can use this to create a container. We can have container inside the container. So I just need to mention some of these things so that it won't be strange to you. Even if you don't understand, as we progress into modifying this website, you're going to have a better understanding. And as you also progress in WordPress design, especially if you're a beginner as a whole, you have a better understanding of it. All right, so let's go to the process of changing all this information around. Also, let me also mention that if you also need content for your website, maybe you're creating a website now and you need content for it, you can see all this information, the about us text, the services and all the likes. You can easily make use of ChatGPT. So let me say you can enter a prompt like create a comprehensive website content, okay, content for a law firm based in Lagos, Nigeria. So I was specific about the location and then you press enter so that it can give me information based on the location that I put. So you can see it's creating content for the home page. And if you scroll down, you can see our core practice area, giving you a likely core area of practice. So content for the about us. So you can see firm name. And if you also have the name of the firm, you can just also enter that, okay, the name of the firm is, let's call let's say, let me call it Brown Law. Just a random name. So once I enter it, that the name of the firm is Brown Law, it will update all the information. You can see, welcome to Brown Law, your trusted partner in Lagos. So at Brown Law, we are committed. So it is one of the ways that you can generate content exactly for your website. However, you need to review the content exactly. So once you're out of content ideas, you can also use ChatGPT as a means of getting content. So now let's go back to our website. So let's start off with this home page now. So let me walk you through the process of changing the information here. So one of the things we want to change now is you want to change this text. So you can see your ultimate law and legal partner in any case. Okay, so you can just click here. So you can see it will appear here. It is under the heading. For this theme now, you can every text you can either find it under the heading, the secondary heading, or the description. Okay, so we have the description here. So you can see this entire container now. You can see it here. If you look at this structure now, this is it here. It's under the model heading. So if you want to change this, your ultimate law and legal partner in any case. So it's under heading. So maybe I want to change it to your trusted legal partner in Lagos, Nigeria. So I can copy that, come and paste it here. So you can see. So that sorts that out. So if I want to change this description to its own add description, so maybe I want to copy, let me see. So let me scroll down to the one that has the name. So at Brown Law, we are committed. So let me just copy the first sentence. Understand Nigeria like that. So we can just copy this, come over here and paste it. So you can see. So let me change this brown lot to, let me unbold it. So if you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly click on that subscribe button right now. All right, so you can see I've already updated this information. Now you can see that for every changes that you make, this publish button will come up. So make sure you always publish. That's just a way of saving it. So there's also a button here. If you want to change this button, once you click on it. So before I leave this text area, so once you change the information, if you need to change the color or the font, so you can see that there's style here. So once you come to style, so you can, if you want to style the heading or the description, so let's say the heading now. So you can see that this is the typography. So if you click on this pencil-like button, so this is where you can change the family, that's the font. So it's currently set to default, and that is the website has a default font type. But if you want to use something different, this is where you can change it. Okay, so there are different fonts here that you can work with when creating your WordPress site. Okay, so that's the meaning of that. Then the size is currently set to 75 pixels. If you want to increase it, maybe you want to make it bigger, you want to make it smaller, this is where you can do that. So let me return it back to 75. So let me walk you through that. Then the weight, how bold do you want it to be? So let me use that word. So it's currently set to 400. If I change it to 700, so you can see it. So that's what this weight means. Then to transform. So if you want to change your text to either uppercase, lowercase, capitalize, instead of typing it all over again, that is what this option is meant for. Then, this transform. Then we have the style. If you want it to be in italics, so you can see it. Okay, so it's a matter of preference. So let me return it back to default. Then we have decoration. Let's see what's there. So if you want it underline, overline, so you can see all of these options are within this style section. Okay, style section, and you come to typography. So if you want to also add line height. So the line height is currently set to 80, so you can see it. So this is for line height. So this is the effect. So another thing I also advise is whatever changes that you are doing, just make sure you see the effect on your website. If you are not seeing the effect, I would advise you just return it to what it is. Okay, so what it was before. So once you are not seeing any changes, just make sure you return it to what it is. So for letter spacing, if you want to space the letters, so just something like this, you can easily space it. So once you want to return it back to maybe 0 or what it was before, you can just clear it. Okay, you don't need to enter anything. So for word spacing, so you have to know the difference between letter spacing and word. For word spacing now, so you can see it will space the word, but if it is letter, it will space the letters. Okay, so just take note of the difference so you don't mix it up. So those are the options that you will find under this typography. So the next one is the text stroke. Okay, so you're going to add the text stroke, so you can also do that. So you can see it more like an outline. So I think that's another word for it. So if you don't want it, after maybe you clicked on it and it appears, you can just create on this back to default. So then we have the color. So we also have the color and the over color, text shadow. You can add the shadow to this text. Now we have the normal and the over. So the meaning of the normal is how it will look like normally, like it is white. So if you want to also create an over color, that means if you over this, maybe the color should change. Let me give you an example. I've selected over now. So if I say maybe once I over it, I want it to change to green. So you can see it. So everything is customizable. So let me just return it to what it was before. So once I click on this, I can click on clear. Okay, so I'm back to normal. So I can add text shadow, background type, I can add margin, padding, then border radius. Okay, these ones are not there. Then max width, so all of this. So just make sure, like I said, anything that you select or you do, take your time to see how the effect it creates on the website. Okay, so the same thing you can do to your heading, you can also do it to your description. So this color, if you want to change this color now, this is where you change it. The typography, if you want to change the typography for this, you can see the same options that we saw earlier are the same option we'll find anywhere typography. Okay, so don't forget, like I said, always publish once you are sure of whatever changes. And like I didn't mention here, there's an option. Once you click on this Elementor logo, you can always come back to history to undo some of the changes that if you have made any changes and you want to undo it, you can come over to history. It will show you some of this, you can see, and if there's any revision that you want to do. Okay, so now let's continue. So now we have the button section. How do you make changes to this button? So once you click on this button, if you want to change this text, you can see read more. If you want to maybe just change it to learn more, To learn more, fine. Maybe you want to change it to book an appointment. So that's how you can change the text, okay? So the alignments, if you want it to be left aligned, if you want it to be center aligned, so you can see it here. So you can see that any effect to do it will appear. Then where do you want it to link to? So once you click on this button now, where do you want it to take you to? That is the essence of this link. So just paste the link that you want the button to take you to. And you can also use a dynamic tag. So once you click here, you select page URL, and it will ask you which page do you want it to take you to. That's another option, okay? So, but we're still going to come back to this hopefully. So this way you can enter a link to where you want the button to take you to. So if you want to display an icon, you can turn this on. Whatever icon that you want to put that you think is okay, you can put that on in. So you can also style your button. So you can see what color do you want it to be, the shape. Do you want it to be round? Do you want it to be curved? And then the background type. How do you want your background to be? So the color. So let me see. So you can see I change it to green, and that's what it's looking like. Okay. So if you want to add image, and then if you want to style the text, like this book an appointment also, if you want to change the typography, if you want to change the color, okay. So you can see as I over it now, it's changing. So if I click on over, also you can see featured color, okay. So those are the options that are there. That is how you can change all this information around. So now what about the background image, so that we can conclude with this entire section? So if I should click here, now you'll notice something. I'm trying to click this 6 button here, like this pink like button that is appearing here, but it's not allowing me to do that. Okay, so once you experience that, this is where this structure comes in handy. Okay, so the part that I want to actually click on is the first section, right? So which is this. So you can see now I can click it. So if you're having that same issue that you're trying to click on a particular section is not allowing you, just come over to this structure here, locate it here, and then it will be easy for you to do that. So you can see I've already clicked it. So what I want to do is to change this background image. So since this is the one that houses the entire thing, I come over to style. So you can see this is the image here. This is where I can change this background image. Okay, so for me to do that, since I've seen the image here, I can click on it. So these are some of the part of the images that we imported with the website. Remember, the website was asking us, we want to import it with the content and the likes, and we said yes. So these are the demo images that the that came with the demo. So for us to add our own, so what we just do is you just go on your system and look for where you have some of those images after downloading them. So so I already have the images already. So let me just, so what I'll just do is once I select them, I just drag it in. So once you see this blue background, then you can drop it. Okay. So now while this is uploading, let me also show you something. Now you'll notice that I renamed these images. You can see like civil law in Lagos, top law firm in Lagos, family law. Now, by default, once you download some of these images, you are going to be seeing something like this because I downloaded it from Pixels. So it's always advisable before you bring it into your WordPress website, make sure you rename them to fit the purpose of the website and the image itself. Okay, so this actually helps for SEO purposes. Like some might be searching for maybe top law firm in Lagos, like and your location, and the images might come up in search results, so that once they click on the image will send them to your website. It helps with SEO. So it's a good practice to always to rename your images generally. So, and if you want to get images, like you can also get images from Pixels and Unsplash. So these are two websites that comes highly recommendable for getting quality images. So you can see this is Unsplash. So you can see high quality images. This is where you enter the kind of image that you want. Maybe I want an image for a law firm, so I can just type law or lawyer or law firm. Just enter a keyword. So you can see to provide a list of free images. So, but you have to check it well if all of them are actually free, because sometimes you might just see some premium images from maybe iStock like that. So then this is where you can just sort them out so that you can be sure what you are seeing. So you can see this is what I'm saying. So the fact that you are seeing it on Splash, you have to also check if it is not some sponsored images from other paid image platform like iStock. Like this was not paid, a premium ones. You can see premium images. So, but you can just sort them out under license, and then you can just click on free. Okay, so to show you the ones that are available that you can use for free, and then you won't have any copyright issues. You can also sort them out based on the size that or the orientation rather. So if you want a landscape, or you want portraits, or you want square images, so you can also set that. So if you are wondering what the difference is, if you look at this now, this is landscape. You can see this, the width is longer than the height, so that's it. While let me look, if this is an example of portraits, so you can see that the width of the image is less and then the height is longer. Okay, so this is what they refer to as portraits. All right, so the same thing here with pixels is the same step. So we can just, once you are there, so you can see that this is where I got the ones I'm using for that website. So these are free images that you can work with. So like I said, you have to pay attention. There are some sponsored images that you find within all these free images. So that you don't just click on them unknowingly. So you can, if you look at this one, this is one of the images that I'm using. You can see this is where I got them from. So once you're okay with it, and once you click on them anyway, you're also going to see similar images from probably the same creator or from the same photographer. So that's how maybe you see this image and you are looking for different variation of the same image. Just click on it and then you are going to be seeing similar variation. Okay, or you can just click on the creator's name and then you search through it. So once you're okay with this, you can see there's an option to download. If you want a specific size, you can just choose it here. I choose between large and medium. Okay, I choose between large and medium and sometimes original. All right, so that's sort out how to get images. So now the images are already uploaded already. Another thing you need to do with respect to images is the title I usually copy them and put them into the alt text, also for SEO purposes. So I always put them into alt text. So basically what this alt text will do is, in cases where maybe your website did not load up or the images did not load, then this is the text that will show up. Okay, so that is the practice. That's just what I do. It's a personal preference. Okay, so then now we want to select image for that section. Let's see the image that will best fit. So let me just use this. So and then I click on select. So you can see. So now we've been able to change the image on the front page. So don't forget to always publish. Now there's this small button here. You can use it to hide that side. You can see show panel. So you can use it to hide and show this panel. So for this panel, if you want to just hide it to see what the website look like entirely, you can just click on this button. If you want to hide it, it takes it in and show you what your website looks like. And then if you press it back, it also brings back that panel. So to show you what it looks like. So this is it right here. Now, once under this section where we're able to add image, you see that under this background now, after adding the image, there are a lot of options here. Now, if you don't want to add image also, you can also decide to add classic. You can see there are different background type. Classic, there's gradients. That's when you want to use color, like maybe you want to use between two colors. You can also do that. If you want to add video as the background, maybe you want a video to be playing in the background, you select the video option and just add a link. You can say YouTube or Vimeo link or link to video files. You can say MP4 is recommended. So you can also upload a video on your WordPress and use it as a background. And if you want to use a slideshow, so the meaning of slideshow is you want to add multiple images. So let's do that. So if I click on add image, and let's say I want to use a combination, maybe let's just use 3. Okay, you click on create gallery, so you can rearrange it, you can change the order of the image, then you just click on insert image. So this is for slideshow. Okay, and whichever options that you choose between classic, gradients, video, you can see there will be different options for you. So you can see this slideshow. So if you select slideshow, there will be an option where you can select the infinite loop. That means what happens after all the images that you selected have showed. Do you want it to start all over again? So this is what infinite loop is. How long do you want each images to stay? You can see the duration in milliseconds. Okay, that's 5,000. That's 5 seconds. What's the transition? How do you want each images to change? Do you want it to fade? Do you want it to slide to the right? Do you want it to slide to the left? Let's see. So those are the options that are there. So then the transition duration, how long do you want the image to, the process of transition of changing? You can see it change very fast because it's currently on 500. So if I should change it to, let's say 2000, which is like 2 seconds, you see that it will take like 2 seconds for the image to switch to the next one. Okay, so that is loading up. Then the background size also, so let me publish this. So you see that for this now, after changing to 2000, it will take a so let me also change this to, let's say, maybe 3. So that's 3 seconds for the image to change. So all of these options are available here. Okay. So we also have the background size, which is from auto, cover, and contain. So once you click on cover, for example, it will change how it looks like. If you click on contain, you can see. So you need to just pay attention to all of this. Now you can see that because of reset, the transition to 2000, you can see it's taking time for the image to switch to the next one. So that's taking like 2 seconds. So it's a matter of preference, but I think the 2 seconds is too much. So I can just set it to 1000, which is 1 second. Okay. So then we have this keyboard effect. Once you turn this on, it creates a kind of effect for the image. Okay. So it's still loading up. So, but don't forget to always publish once you do that. So if I turn on the keyboard effects now, so you see what happens to the image, and then you can select the direction. Do you want it to be in or out? So you can see this is what you can see that it is zooming in. So that's the meaning of this keyboard effect. So we also have another option here, which is the background overlay. So that is if you want to add a color over this image. For example, like maybe I want to add a color or maybe another image over it. Okay, so that's what this background image also means. And anywhere you see this normal and over, so what it means is that anything you do it in normal, you also have the same, almost the same option in over. What happens is once you just over that image, over that text, over that thing, you know, what effects do you want this to create? So that's the meaning of this over. So anywhere you see over, that's the meaning. What do you want? What effect do you want to happen once you over that image? So on normal, for example, maybe for example, the essence of this is where you find it very handy is when you create a section and maybe you added an image and then you have a text like you are having here, and the text is not really showing properly because of the kind of image that you add. You can add a background overlay so that the so that it will appear well. You can add a classic or gradients. When you see gradient has 2 colors, you know. Well, maybe let's use gradients now. So maybe it's gradient. I can select, okay, maybe I want in between 2 colors. So you can see between red and green. And then I can set the location, how close do you want it to be, or where the green, how much space you want it to take. Select the angle, and then the opacity talks about how deep or how light you want the color to be. So you can see that's the essence of this background overlay. There are also other options here like border, shape divider. Now this shape divider will just add these effects. You can do it at the top or at the bottom, but let's do it at the bottom. So if I select bottom and I select the type, so you can see there are different types here. So you can see you must have come across something like this on other websites, that WordPress websites. So this is how they achieve that. The one that is also common is this waveform. Is it this one is also common? Let me see the other type. Waves brush. So this also common. You must have come across this on other websites. So this is how they achieve it. You can put it at the top or at the bottom, and then you can play around with it, how wide or how big you want it to be like. So you can see that adding some of this effect alone will make it different from the initial template, and which is just whatever you decide. Okay, but just make sure that you don't overdo them. Like I said, all of these things I'm showing you, you might not even need to use all of them for just a single website, but I just need to walk you through just in case you might need it for your current project or maybe any other projects that you are working on. Exactly. So that's why I need to just mention this. So let me just take this away, the background overlay. Okay, so those are some of the options that you'll find here. If you also come to advanced, you see where you can change the layouts, this motion effects. You know, some of them are locked, but like I would rightly say, whatever thing that you do here, do make sure that you see the effect on the website. Now you will notice something, that there's an image here, is showing like this image below is repeating itself here, and that is because, let me go back now. So I need to touch that. So that is because under let's see, yes, under background side we select contain. So that's what happens when you select contain. So for you to correct that, you just click and cover. So it will cover the entire part of the container. It will not, the image will not repeat itself. So that's the essence of what I was saying. And once you make a changes, make sure you see the effect so that you can know where to correct it if you need to. Okay. So publish. Now what we've done to this part, you can see I spent a lot of time here because everything that we are doing here is the same process you're going to be using to change every other thing here. So that's why I'm taking time on this section. Now this social media icon, if you want to edit it also, once you click on it, you can see it will just show you that it's a social icon Instagram. So if there's anyone that you don't want, you can just cancel it. Maybe I don't want Instagram, for example. I just cancel it out. If I want to add a new items, I just click on this add item, and then I can click on it and change the information. So maybe for LinkedIn now, once I click on it, I can change the icon. But since it's LinkedIn, that's the icon for LinkedIn. So I paste the link. So that's the link to the LinkedIn profile, maybe for the organization or for yourself. Then if you want to, what color do you want it? Is it the official color or custom color? Okay. So this is a matter of preference. So primary color, secondary color. Okay, so all these things are self-customizable. Now, if you look at all of this icon, how do you want it to? Do you want it to be round? Do you want it to be square? Do you want it to be circle? So you can select whatever you think it's okay for you. Then the columns, how many columns do you want it to? Okay, so if I select 2 now, you can see then to be just two column. Okay. So let me just leave it as auto. So the alignment, it is left aligned. You want center align. So you can see the effects of all of these options immediately. So if you want to style it also, once you come to style, you can change the color. If you want it to be the official color, you can do that. You can see the official color will appear. But let's leave it as custom. I think the custom is okay. If you want to change the size to make it bigger, so you can see it now. So this is where you change the size. So let's just leave it the way it is. It was before. Okay, I can't even remember what it was, but those are just the spacing is for the spaces between each of those icons. This is where you can do it, the round gap, everything's the icon over. So once you over them, what effects do you want to happen? Now you can see over animation. Maybe I want it to grow. So you can see if I should over it, you might not see it because of my mouse cursor color, but it will just grow. And then if you want it to shrink, to pause, all of this. So like I said, don't forget to always publish. So with that now, we've been able to touch all this, everything about this section. So the same thing we did here. Now for this plot that is showing this lawyer, if you want to change it to, just trace it here. So you can see lawyer, maybe you want to change it to anything. So I think we named this Brown Law. So maybe I want to change it to Brown Law. Okay, so Brown Law, then you can then style it. Maybe it's too big. You can see the law is just overlapping. You can just, all right, publish. So you can also check it if it is looking good on mobile. Okay, so then it's not looking good on mobile. So now we are on the mobile section. You can see the alignments for mobile. Once you see this, that means you're on the mobile editing mode. So I come back to typography. You can see it's currently set to mobile portrait. So I can just reduce it. So it's looking good on mobile now. So then I can go back to the desktop also and check if it is also looking good. So those are some of the things that you need to take note of and ensure while working on your WordPress site and using Elementor. Then you publish, that's more like saving. All right, so what we have done here is the same process you are going to take to change this image, to change this text. Once you click on the text, you can see the title is this expert legal advice for your confidence in the future is under the title. This part is under description. Yes, it's under description. So this is where you can just edit all of this information. I think this one is under secondary heading. Okay, so you can see. So once you just go through all of these, you locate them, click on it, you'll be able to change all the information. This is image, signature part. Then that is how to do it. So the same thing applies to everything. Just click on it. Once it appears here, change the information around. If you want to change the images, to locate where the image is, and then you can change for this. Now this is a background image. I've clicked on this 6 dot here, and then I'll come over to style. Okay, let's see. Okay, it is not under that section. So once I've clicked and it's not there, I can use this my structure to locate it. Okay, so once let me click on this second container, then I come over here. Okay, still not there. Let's see. So let's see. So let me still, okay, you can see it. So one thing that will guide you, so this is the image that is in this background. So one thing that will guide you is once you click on the main container itself, you'll see that they will arrange it in a particular order. So this is the main of container. Once you click it, you can't find it. You go to the next one, you come to style, you can't find it. You go to the next one, till you find this, but just you can see that it is letting me that this is the main container that is holding all the information that is here. So definitely to be just be somewhere here. So that is how you do that. So the same thing applies to the services section, and then you can just go ahead and do. So if there's any part of this that you don't want, you can just take it out. So for example, now this part that shows our theme, if I don't want it, I'll just click on this export X part here. That means I want to just delete it. You can see delete container. So maybe I don't want this part now. I can just delete it. Okay. So that's it on how to edit all the information on the site. Okay, that's on the Elementor section. Okay, so once you have done with all of this and then you publish, and then you'll be fine. So now let's go to the customized part. I've spent a lot of time here because I really want you to understand it. And if you're finding value, please give the video a thumbs up. So now, once you are done with all of this, now let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. So if you want to exit out of this, come and click here, and then you see exit to WordPress. And to take you to the home. So if you want to leave here too, and then you also click on this WordPress, then it brings you here. So another thing I want us to touch is, once you are here, I've explained all of this, is the customize option. So once you come to appearance, and then you click on customize. So what this allows you, if you want to do, is there are other options that are available there. So now let me close this, close this, close this. Okay. So this is the customize section. So the customize, let me open our website. So if you want to view the site, once you over here, you see view sites. So that's another way you can open the website itself. So let me just close some of this. Okay, so this is our website now with some of the little changes that we did on this first section. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is, like I said, is to work on the menu. So for you to make changes to the menu, the logo, and then if you scroll down, you see the footer section is by the customized settings. Okay, so you can even see it here, customized. So if you can decide to open it from here, it still take you to the customized page. Okay, so now we are currently on the customized page, and then these are all the options that you find there. So once you're on the customized page, you're also going to see the website, so it can show you some of the changes that you are making on the website via this customized option. Okay, all right, so if you click on general now, this is where you can select your layout. So website layout. So and you need to take note, since this is a demo imported website, like I mentioned earlier, some of the options here are okay. Next to that is the general typography. So if I should click on general typography now, so this is where you are going to set the fonts for the entire website based on the different sections. We have the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, like that. So now if you remember, while we were on Elementor, while we are editing this particular part, you see that some part where we click on typography, it was showing default. That means this is where they've set the default font. So if I click this, now I can see playful display. So let's see what they set here. Also playful display. Now the essence of this is that once the typography has been set here, if for example now if you look at this place now, the same font you are seeing here is the same font type you are seeing here, and then if you look at every places where you are seeing similar font, what it means is that if I should change it here, it will change across the entire website. So it makes more sense and makes it much more easier if you want to make some changes instead of going to each of the pages and be changing it individually. Okay, so that's it on general typography. We have page animation and preloading. If you want to enable this option, page animation and preloading, and there are some websites that once you want to open them, before the website open, you might be seeing some kind of animation, those kind of effects. So that is what this is for. And personally, as for me, I actually don't like it because it makes it look as if the website is slow. Some people don't have that patience waiting for a preloader to come up before the main website. So the other things are Google API key and SEO. These are if you want to put your Google Analytics code, Google Map API, so you can do that here. So, and then custom JavaScript code. If you want to, maybe you want to create some more effect on your website or more functionalities and you want to add some code here, this is where you can do that. So let's go back. Again, we have the appearance, and then under the appearance, this is global colors. The same thing like the font. There are some colors here that if you put in the color now, the same thing you would have seen it while I was there also, where you see colors. There are some colors that are global colors. So this is where you set it. Any colors that you put in here, if the colors is used across the website, anywhere it is used, if you change it here, to change across the entire website. Okay, so that's it of global colors. And then we have website background. If you want to add the background to your website, this is where you can do that. It is currently disabled. So if you let's go back, content background color. So this is where you can set your content background color. Okay, then website frame, skin option, mobile browser. So this is the address bar color. So this is a mobile, for mobile. You know, once you open a website on a mobile view, you see that the background color, or the address bar, should have a specific color. So this is where you can set that up. Then we have the forms and the sidebar. So these are for the forms now. What do you want? The email, the website, the name, the cookies, and everything. Okay, so all these are self-customizable and straightforward. I just wanted to go through it so that you can understand it. Now let's look at the header. So these are another part that interests us. So if you look at it, header templates. So by default, also this theme, another interesting thing is that it has a lot of templates for the header. For example, this is the header section, and we are having just our logo and our menu, and this is the way it appears. But if you look here, there are other templates that you can work with, so you can see it here. So whichever one that you prefer, you can just click on it, and then you see it appear here. Okay, and if you want to edit it, so you see edit with header builder. So just take note, if you anyone that you choose from here, in case if there's anyone that did not work with it at that particular time, definitely then you can try the next one. Okay, so but most of them will work. Maybe due to updates, one or two might not work, but there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are like 10 different templates here, so you can see it's a long one. So for you to edit it or to make any changes here, just click on edit with header builder. So the header section was also built with Elementor, which is the page builder that I used to explain all of this section while I was explaining it earlier. So now that it has opened up, so these are the elements that you find here. Here we have our logo. So you can see this is our logo here. The logo is already, so if you want to change, you can't really change the logo, but I'll show you where you can change the logo. But our logo has been selected and put here. Now this is the menu section. So if you want to do any changes here, you can do it. Then this is the search, okay, modern search. So if you don't want this now, you can also just do what? Right click on it, and then you see the delete option, delete, okay? So now for this menu now, you might want to change things around. So this is what you do is you come to style. So you can see menu items down. We are currently set to normal. So you can see the color now. You can see featured color. So that means it is picking it from the featured color that I showed you under customize option earlier. You can see featured color. Now for the typography, so you can see set to default. You can see it is set to default. And if you want to change it to, you can do that. Then the text shadow, if you want to add text shadow, if you want to add box shadow, so you can see box shadow. So let me turn, if you want to add text shadow, if I click on it, so you can see that there's a shadow there. So let me just take that. Or background type, if you want to add a background color. So all these are customizable and a matter of preference. So you can see that's the background color there. That's the effect that it will create. But let me turn this off. So if you should scroll down, also these are the options that are available there. So also for typography, if you want to increase the size of, you can see if you want to increase it, let's see. So this is where you can just do that under typography. So just the same thing there. Menu item selected. That means now let me come back to this menu item before so now if you click on over to, you see that there are other effects too. When you over them, what effect do you, for example, if I over it now, you can see the color is changing. So this is where you can do all of that. So now let me come to menu item selected. What this means is that if you're on a particular menu, what are the effects that you want to see? Maybe if you're on the About Us page now. So that means maybe if you're on the About Us page, I just want the color of the text to change to green because I'm on the About Us page. If you want the typography to change, you can also do that, okay? But it's just advisable to make sure the typography is same. But one thing that you can do is to change the color of the text so that it can show that, okay, yes, I am on this particular page. So there are other options here like sub-menu. What effects do you want? How do you want your sub-menu to appear? You can see sub-menu is when you click on some menu, you see that there are some other menu that will appear. That's the meaning of sub-menu. If you want to add some effects to your sub-menu also, you can pick from any of these effects, okay? So those are the things that you can do there. So once you are done with everything that you need to do, if you also want to add a background color to this entire section now, so you can see I can't click it. Okay, I think I can click it from here. Okay, good. So if I want to add maybe a background color to my menu now, this is where I can just do it. Once I've selected it, I come to background, maybe normal, classic, then I can pick from default or I can pick my own color. So you can see that. So if that's what you want, you can easily do that. Instead of, for example, if you look at the website now, we don't have any background color. So, but if you want to put in a background color, I've just showed you how to do that. Then you can just pick from any of this color picker. So let me just clear that, clicking this, okay? So once you are done, you publish. So we are done with the header, I can just close it. So let's come back to the customize part for the header. So now for the header template settings, so there are other settings there. If you want to enable sticky header, so let me turn this on. So for the sticky header, also sticky header background. So let me see what color will be fine. So let me put in a background color for a sticky header. So for the sticky header, let me select, let me just select this dark color. Okay, so what's the, and then I click on choose. Okay, so you can select the height, then enable overlay. If you want to enable it to set an overlay header, so if you want to turn this on, okay. So don't forget to always publish. So that these are the options that is under it. So if I should come back now, so that's it on the header. Okay, then we have the blog. Remember that we have a blog page. If I should scroll down now, so it's also advisable that if you are editing anything on the blog about blog, make sure you're on that blog so that you can be seeing the effects. Exactly. Make sure you're on the, so just click on the blog page. So if you're on single post, now this is talking about how do you want your single post, okay, single post sidebar position. Do you want, it's currently set at no sidebar. If you want the right sidebar, left sidebar, you can also do that. The featured color, all these things are self-explanatory. You know, display post media, if you want that turned on, display post date, display author, display post author, and the likes. Okay. So just make sure that you're on the blog page so that as you are selecting all of this option, you are seeing it. Then for single post title, blog page itself. So how do you want your blog to appear? You can see blog templates. How do you want it to appear? Do you want it to appear as a grid? Do you want it to appear as a on land? They call this timeline, and all of this option. No, all of this is just to create some kind of uniqueness with for your website. Remember that it's a demo imported website. There are chances that other people too will also want to import this kind of demo to create their own law website. So some of these changes that you might do is what will actually make your website different. Now, for example, now if you look at the demo I edited before, this was what I did. But now that I'm doing it again on the while creating this video, you can see I did something different by adding this divider and also adding some slider animation, which I didn't even do when I was doing mine. Okay, so that's just it. So now let's, away from this blog side, we have the page. So here you can select your page layout and then page title. So this display title bar section is currently turned off. When you turn this on, you'll be seeing the title of the page on the top of all the page, which is not, doesn't look good. So if you want to turn, it's already turned off anyway. So page title, page typography. Then the next one that is of importance to us is the footer. So that's the same way we did for the header. So when you talk about the footer section, is this place you are seeing this black space here. This is the footer section. So now if you click on footer templates, so the same thing with the header, you see that there are different templates that you can work with here. So if you don't want this template, you can change it to something else. So but if you're okay with it and you want to do some edit or some modification, just click on edit with footer builder. That will also open up in a new page, and then you can see you can edit it with Elementor. So once it's opened up, you can see it is currently divided into 1, 2, 3, into 3 sections. You can see 3 columns. So this is where we have the logo. So if you want to change the logo, it's not even logo, they added an image. So you just click here and then you select your logo. And remember, when you are bringing in your logo into your website, the size should be 150 by 150 pixels. That's the recommended size. Then if you want to change this text too, you can also just the same process. You change the logo. The useful link. This is already set already, so you might not need to change anything about this. Then if you don't want this subscribe to our newsletter, you can take it off. Then if you want to add, maybe you want to change it to, let's see, maybe you want to put in your address now. I can change this to contact us. Exactly, this place that you put as subscribe to our newsletter. Maybe I don't want it and I want to put in our contact details. I can just change that to maybe get in touch or contact us, so you can see. Then maybe I don't want this email chimp thing, so I can just delete this. Then this text here, I can now change it to a contact details where I'll just put address. So let's just say somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria. So I want to put in phone number. So for phone number, now you'll notice that I'm on a new line here, but if you look here, you see that it's going on a straight line. I'll show you how to do that. So maybe I just put in my phone number 00 and then whatever. Then after that, I can put in, let's say, my email. So the email can be info at the website name, let's say Brownlaw or Brownlegal at, okay, info@brownlaw.com, something like that. Okay. So now for you to put it on the same, on a new line, just come over here and put in less than, BR, and then greater than. So it will send it to a new line, so you can see. So let me copy this again and put it after the phone number. So paste it. So it will send it to a new line. So that is how customizable everything is. So you can see I've removed the MailChimp stuff and put in a get in touch information. Okay. So if there's any other thing you want to put, just click on this plus element. By default, you'll see that they'll show you some possible elements that you might want to put at the footer. So you can see footer, it's showing you current time, search form, logo, modern search, select box, and the likes. Okay. So if you also want to change this, terms of use, privacy policy, if you don't want it, you can just take it out. So let me just delete it. Okay. And if you want to also, if you also need it, you can also just use it. Then this copyright, if you want to change it around copyright, so this is the copyright here. If you want to leave it, fine. And then if you want to also change things around here, maybe this black, you don't want this black, you can just click here, come to style, and then you can see featured color. You can just change the color. So I don't want a featured color. Maybe I want something else. So let's see. So maybe I want to use this color, and then for this text also, I want to change the color to pure white. Okay, so the choice is yours anyway. The choice is yours, whatever colors that you want, but I hope you get the concept now. So I've selected this white so you can see so that it can look more better. So once you are done changing everything here, and if you want to add a new column also, maybe you want to add this, you want to add useful link, you want to add get in touch, you want to add maybe one other image, or maybe you still want to use that MailChimp email opt-in, you can just come here, click here, and then you can just duplicate. So you can see we already have 4. Then you can then use this for anything you want to use next. So let me just leave it like that, and then you click on publish. So once that is done, you can also change the color of this footer if you don't want it to be dark. The choice is yours. So let me just close this. All right. So once that is done, we are done with the footer section. Let's go back. So we also have footer template setting. You enable sticky footer. No, this is not advisable, but it's a matter of preference. Show theme animation, copyright text, and every other information here. All right. So let me go back. So the next one is on extra. So let's see what is under extra. This is where you can select your performance. Okay, back to the top button. This is the button here. It's enabled already. So you can see, you can select where you want it to be. It's always okay at the lower right. Then we have performance, bedroom, login page, 404 page. All these things are things that if you go through them, you definitely understand what is there. So another thing that is very of importance to us is our site identity. So this is where you are going to put in your logo. So you can see your logo. So if you want to change from this logo, you click here and then you put in your logo. So you can see suggest image dimension 150 by 150 pixels. If your logo is bigger than this, it will take too much space. Exactly. So it will take too much space in your header and the likes, and it will not look good. Then for logo 2, for your logo 2, this is where you put in your second logo. Like most times your logo 2 is always a contrast of your main logo. Maybe your main logo was with a light color. You can make your logo 2 a dark color. Okay. Then your site title, this is where you're going to give your site a title. Let me call this is brown, and this will also, whatever site title is what will also show on your website. For example, now this is the website. If I should click on this tab now, you can see it's just showing the domain name. But if I should change it here to brown, let's say brown legal, then I add a tagline. Let's say, okay, your partner, So let me just see if I can copy this. Your trusted legal partner in Lagos. And I paste it here. And then I publish. Okay. So that has sort that out. So let me just refresh this a bit and then so that we can see something. So then another thing you can also do here is your logo mask height. If your logo is too, the maximum height you want to give, especially when the logo is big, then you can do that here. Now you can see now, after changing that, you can see what is showing here, brown legal. Brown legal, okay, I type legal. Brown law, your trusted legal partner in Lagos. So you can see that the text I've put here is already, this is the one of the effects that it's going to be creating. Okay, so let's continue. So you can see pages with custom logos. You can see, then for site icon. Now the meaning of site icon is, if you're on some website and then you'll be, instead of seeing this globe sign and then you want to see your logo, this is where you're going to put your site icon. You click on site icon and then let me just use this. Okay, and then I click on select. Okay, so you can see it here. So you can see it's already even taking effect here, but if I click on publish, it will take place across the entire website. Okay, so if I should come here again and I refresh this, they will be saying that. So that is all the options that is under site identity. So let's go back. So the next thing under site identity is the menu. I'll be showing you about the menu. So now you can see it here. Okay, so you can see it here. So now let's scroll down to, now there are no other thing, widgets. We have the widgets. We didn't really use widgets here, so we can just go back. Then we have the home page setting. This has been set already, so we don't have any business here. So basically, those are some of the settings that I want to show you under customizing. The important thing there is, now you can see now, oh, okay, so now you can see that the sticky header we selected is already showing up. So that's the header, but we selected the background to be white. So, and I think the white doesn't fit the color of the website because it's not showing here. So for us to change that, you can easily go back to the header, click on header templates, click on edit. Okay. Header template, sticky header, this is it. Then sticky header background, okay. Enable overlay heading, okay, yes, let me turn this on. So let's publish. So see the effect of that. So now let's go back. So those are the options that are available under the customize, okay. So now let's go back to our website. So let me just refresh this. So the next thing I want to do is to show us the appointments and the booking part of the website. You can see, like I showed you here, there's an appointment and a booking feature, which is this, where clients can easily make booking an appointment. So how do you go ahead to add this to your WordPress website? Okay, so now let's do that. You come over to this website. So this is where you're going to download the booking plugin that we're going to use to achieve that. So you can see appointment and scheduling WordPress booking plugin. So once you sign up on this, here you can see there's a paid version and there's a free version. However, we are going to be using the free version, but if you can afford to go for the paid version, because it comes with more features, which I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of the towards the end of this video, then you can go with it. It's just $79 and it's actually going to worth it. Okay, so once you download the plugin, then you come back to the dashboard of your WordPress site. Then you come over to plugins and you click on add new, on add plugin. So once you are there, you click on upload plugin and then you look for the plugin that you've downloaded. So this is it here. So I'll select it, click on open and install now. Once it has been installed, the next thing is to click on activate to activate the plugin. So with this now, you're going to see a new option here. You can see it, booking press. So let's go ahead and click on it. Now, since this is the first time of installing the plugin, you are going to be asked to fill in some of this information. That is your company name, your address, time format, dates, your country. So let me quickly fill in those information. So once you are done, the next thing is select your country. So you look for your country here. Now, if you look at the plugin itself, you see that it has a lot of country in it. That's to tell you how versatile the plugin is. If you check here, you see that there are a lot of countries. So depending on, irrespective of where you are, this plugin will work for you. So you put in your website. That's it, and then your phone number, then you can just put it in and just put some random number there. So then your company logo, don't forget to upload your company logo. So it's also important. Then this is optional. So once you are done, you click on next. The next thing is to set your booking option. Help us understand your booking option. So the default working hours that's between the time when they can make booking. So if you want to set it from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., fine. And if you want to make something different, you can do that. For this now, by default, Saturday and Sunday is set as off. And if you want to turn it on, just click here and put in your opening hour. Automatically, you'll be allowed to put in your closing hour. Okay. So let me just leave it as on. For a lost site, maybe Saturday and Sunday, you want it off. The choice is yours. Then for the currency, you can see it here. There are also so many currency here. Since I'm selecting Nigeria as country, let me look for the Naira, Nigerian Naira. Okay, so this is it here. All right, so you click on next. So you'll be asked to create a service, but we are going to be skipping this now. We are going to be doing it from the plugin itself. So just click on next. So now this is asking you for the styling. Choose the colors that you want. Whatever colors you want to use for it, you can select it. If you want to change the font, okay. So let me see if I can see it. All right. So I want to use the same font with the website itself. Then the color also, you can decide to also change the website color. So on OK. So if you want to change the title color, the subtitle color, so this is how you change the color. So then you click on finish. Now, it will show you this thing. Take note of this. This is the link to the booking page, and this is that to show my booking. So then this is for the short code that you're going to use to embed the booking onto the website. So don't worry, you're still going to understand. So you just make sure you copy them. Okay. All right. So now once that is done, you click on close. And then you'll be taken to the booking plugin dashboard. So these are some of the features that are currently there. Remember, you are working with a free plan. Okay, so let me just walk you through some of the settings. Let's come over to settings. So if you're finding value in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are still yet to subscribe, please click on that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. All right, so under general now, this is where you can set your default service duration, like how many minutes by default do you want each booking, each appointment to be. This is where then default time slope step. So by default, so this is where you can set afternoon time, evening time, night time. Now these are the options that are available here. It is more straightforward. Your phone number, default item per page, your date format, and everything. But it's important to mention that if you're using the paid one, there are more options that you will see if you're using the paid one. I'll still show you what a paid one looks like. So for the company, this is where you're going to put in your logo, your name, your address, you understand? Then for notification, how do you want to receive your notification? You're going to put it here. So if someone make a booking now, you are going to receive an email. The customer is also going to receive an email. So this is where you're going to put in the sender email, the admin email. So the working hours, the one we edited earlier, you can also do it here. If you want to make correction, if you want to add break, you can do that. Then this is for holidays. If you want to note on your calendar, there will be holidays on the certain days of the year, and you don't want booking to be made on those days, you can easily do that here. Then this is for payment. This is how you want to receive payment. So your currency, you set your currency. Where do you want your symbol to be? Separator, your number of decimal. Now, how do you want to receive payment? There are currently two payment methods, and that's because you are using the free version. If it is the paid, you are going to be having an option to choose a wide variety of payment system. But now we only have the on-site payment and then PayPal payment. Okay, so if PayPal is allowed in your country, you understand, you can just go ahead and fill in all of these details from your PayPal account to be able to receive payment via PayPal. Okay. And then on-site is when the clients come over to your place. That's when they are going to make the payment. That is the option for the on-site. Okay, but if you want to use payments gateway like Stripe, there are a lot of them, Authorize, Pay You, and the likes, then you will have to stick with the paid version of the plugin. So this part of messages are some of the default messages that will appear at different sections during booking. So by default, these texts are okay. All right, so once any changes you make, do make sure you save. So let's come over to customize. So if you want to customize the form, so this is an option here where you can also do that. So you can see this is where you can change some of the colors around, the form color, the price and button color, and every other thing. So you can just change it around from the default color, which is green. If you want to also do that of the control panel, you can also do that from here. So now for the notification, let's see what under the notification, just like the name, this is where you're going to be getting setting up the kind of message that you are going to be getting and then your clients are going to be getting. So once they've done a booking, what are the messages they are going to receive? So this is where you're going to set that up. So dear customer first name. So these are some short code that you can use to set up the email that your customer is going to receive. And then you as an admin also, this is the message you are going to receive. So when there's a pending also, this is the message you're going to receive. So this is where you're going to set that up. Okay. So you are still going to come back to services then for calendar. So this is where you can easily view your calendar and see which, you can just see it as a glance at what days of the month you are going to be having appointments. Then for appointments, if you come over to appointments, so this is where you're going to see a list of appointments that you have. So you can usually put it by date. You can set it as a range, and then you can see other information. So now for payments, this is where you're going to see record of payment. This is where you can manage your payments, okay? And then your customer, this is where you're going to see your clients' details. Once they start to book, their informations are going to be stored, maybe like their names and their email, their phone number. You'll find everything here. So now, having done that, now let's come over to service. So this is where you're going to create service. So to start with, what we are going to first of all create are categories. Now, if you come over to this reference website, so let me close this. And if I should scroll down to where we have the booking system here, let me go over to services. So let me go back. So these are what we call categories. So where we have family law and litigation law is what we refer to as categories. So let's quickly do that. So to create that, that's click on manage category, add new. So you can name your category. So let me just call this litigation law. Litigation law. Let me name this family law. So you can have as many categories as you want. So let me just add one more. What other law? So let me just call this civil law. Okay. All right, so we've created different categories, and you can rearrange them if you want this to just be, maybe you want to take the civil law to the top. So you can see you can easily rearrange them, then you close. So the next thing is for us to create a service. So I click on add new. So like you can see here, I just created 20 minutes consultation, 45 minutes consultation, and then I just added the price. So if you want to have something as simple as that, you can just be creative with what you want to do. So here you can add an image. So let me just click, you can upload an image that best fits this then. So let me see, let me look for one. Okay, it's just, you can just put in an image, upload an image here. So let me put it here as, let me just copy this. 20 minutes consultation. I hope I copied that. No, I didn't. So 20 minutes consultation. Let me just give it that name. So the category bound under civil law. For how many minutes? Okay, 30 minutes. Or no, let me just reduce it to 20 minutes. And then maybe the price. Okay. So the price is showing in dollar. Didn't I change it? So I'll still try and go back to see if I changed the price to naira. Okay, so if you want to add any description about this service, you can easily put it there. Now, because we are using the free version, you can see we can't put in more than this information there. Okay, we can't just add more than this, so just go ahead and save. But if you are using the page, there will be an option to create a recurring. I'm still going to show you, don't let me say it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and save this. So let me just create one more. So let me just create one more. Let me say I want to add new, and I want to call this 30 minutes consultation. So let me say I want to put this under litigation law, and then 30 minutes, maybe I want to price this as 15,000 in naira, okay, not in dollars. So then I click on save. So you can add a description about what the client should expect for that service. You add it under description, okay? So once you are done with this, the next thing is to come and put it on your website. So let me come back to edit with Elementor so that I can go to the page where I want to put it. Now remember the short code that I mentioned earlier. We are going to be making use of it here. Now our Elementor is opened up. I want to add it where we have the contact information. So I'll just scroll down. So I want to put it where we have the contacts. So here, so maybe I want to put it under the contact form. So I'll just come over here and search for short code. Then I'll just drag it. So you can see, once you see this line. It's telling you where you want to drop it, and I can just drop it. Okay. So now remember the short code we copied earlier. So this is where I'm going to come and paste it. I see booking press underscore forms. So you can also use the same thing. So once I've put it there, you're going to be seeing something like this. You just don't worry. This is how it's going to show because you are logged in and you are within the Elementor dashboard. So this is what it's going to look like. But don't worry, just go ahead and publish. So now that it's published, so if you should preview this now, so let's preview changes. That will open up in a new tab. Now let me scroll down to where I have put it. So you can see it here. So this is it, and then we are having, this is the category. Now you can see we are having only 2 categories, and in the back end we created 3. That's because the third one we didn't add any service under it. Okay, so once I want to go and book, I just click on this, and then I select the date where I want to book an appointment. Maybe I select on the 24th. I selected it, I select my time. So I'll just go ahead and put in all the information that they are asking, the name, location, email address, and the likes. So after that, I'll go to summary and I can go ahead and book. Now, this is because the free system, and then we are using the on-site payment, okay? But if you want to use the paid, you want to receive payments for every booking, maybe you want them to pay for a booking session, then don't forget, like I said, from the back end for payment, that's where you're going to add your payments details, okay? So that is it on how you are going to create your booking system. Once the booking is done, you are going to receive an email. The client is also going to receive email. Now, let me also show you something about the booking system, why you might consider getting the paid version of this plugin. Okay. Now, if you get the paid version, these are some of the add-ons that you can add to your website. If you want to accept tags, you'll be able to add tags. You'll be able to generate invoice. You also to be able to do happy hour pricing, location. So if you check all of this and you click on the read more, you see what they are all about. You also want to have these multi-language features. So these are just some other add-ons. If you want to accept tip, maybe ratings and review, this is also very important. If you also want a recurring appointment, you understand, and also a waiting list. Now within the paid version, you can limit how many times can somebody book an appointment in a particular day. But the free one doesn't allow that. Maybe you can only accept 10 consultations in a day. Okay, so once anybody wants to book an appointment after 10 slot has been taken, the person will have to wait. So that's the essence of this waiting list, and it is only available in the pro version. Now, the one that is very important is the payment system. If you want to be accepting payment for every booking, maybe you want it to be a paid booking session, then you might need to get the paid version so that you have access to all these payment system. At least one of them will definitely work for you, because if you're using the free one, you can only use PayPal, and PayPal is not allowed in all the countries. Exactly. So, and it's not everybody that also uses PayPal. Not all your clients that want to make payments with PayPal. So you can see there's Skrill, there's Braintree, there's WordPay, and there's PayU. There's 2 checkouts, there's PayPal Pro, there's Stripe, there's WooCommerce, and the likes. Okay, so this is why you might want to consider the paid one. So let me also show you what the dashboard of the paid version of this plugin looks like. So here is the backend of another website that uses the paid version. So you can see in creating a service, you can create a category, a price. You can also create a buffer time after and buffer time before, the duration, and then the maximum capacity. That's what I was mentioning earlier, that how many times can they book that particular service in a day. Okay, so if you look at this, also there are extra services that you can add, custom duration and pricing. You can also add staff members into your booking system, such that once they want to make a booking or an appointment on your website, they can select, okay, this is the person I want to talk to. I want to talk to this particular lawyer or this particular attorney. So all of those features, you can set them up using the paid version. And if you look here on the left side, you can see that there are more options there. You can create a discount, you can create a package, and then every other things like this, you can find them in the paid system. So if that interests you, just make sure I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video so that you can get the paid version of this plugin. So with that, guys, so let's come back to our website. So you can see now we've been able to recreate a law website and then add the booking system and show you how you can go ahead to modify every other information on it if we are using the demo imported template. Okay, so I hope you find value in this video. I hope you learned a lot. If you do, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you have any question or any comments, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much, guys, and with that, I'll see you all in another video. My name is Prosper, and with that, I'll see you all in another video. Thank you very much. Bye for now.